Leonard Milgraum. And I've been composing poetry since I was 9 or 10 years old. I said composing, not writing, because I cannot sit with a pad and a pen and write. It must flow through me and be inspired. I wrote the following poem when I was 11 years old, and yet the depth of its meaning did not fully reach me till many years later. An angel once drew near to me and said with heavenly voice, "I will give you but one wish. Pray, what will be your choice?" I said, "My godly messenger, I've traveled far and wide. I've had the best of teachers. You see, I'm not untried. And if I must but make one wish, my mind is clear and free. For rather than own all the world, let me but myself be." Now, I read a recent study on people's capacities which show that well over 99% of people never reach their full potential. To give you an example, how does a seed become a tree? While it never went to school, read any books, it is able to grow 200 feet into the air, to send water to its top branches without any heat pump. How does it know when to bud, when to add color to its leaves, etc.? Is it possible to believe that God Almighty put less inside us in the form of potential than in the seed of a tree? Even the term education is a derivative of the Latin word educo, to lead out. It's all inside us, potentially. Years later, with this realization, I wrote the following poem. Whenever you stumble or falter or fumble or fail to advance to your goal, take a moment in prayer and see past the despair to the wisdom God placed in your soul. When you're cut or confused and your ego is bruised and you feel that you've lost all control, yet this feeling's not true. There's a you within you. It's the wisdom God placed in your soul. There are times you're so low there seems no place to go. Still there's one place you always can stroll. When there's nowhere to hide, you can just go inside to the wisdom God placed in your soul. In the silence you'll find peace beyond peace of mind, the courage to make yourself whole. It's a counsel unique that you don't have to seek. It's the wisdom God placed in your soul. Only few come to know that gratuitous glow from the knowledge of life's earthly role. Yet we all get to try to decipher the why in the wisdom God placed in our soul. One more example of inspiration. Some years ago, I was asleep. It was the night before Valentine's Day. And while we celebrate all secular holidays, especially Valentine's Day, which gives me another opportunity to celebrate and demonstrate my great love, admiration, and appreciation for my wonderful, precious gift from God, my wife Sylvia. In any event, while I love nature as an example of God's handicraft, I do not like gardening per se, or am I good at it? However, my wife is an excellent gardener and adores being out with her flowers, shrubs, and trees, and caring for them. In any event, it's 3 in the morning when this poem comes to me. I tried to shake it off so I could have a few more hours of sleep, but it wouldn't go away. So I got up and wrote the following, which is really in my wife's ideas of a garden, not mine, but still, here it is. I'm never alone in my garden, surrounded by flowery friends. Conversation is keen with my audience green, unaware of the world's latest trends. I'm never alone in my garden, though I'm dressed in my shabbiest coat. There are burrs in my hair, and my trees never care, and society seems so remote. I'm never alone in my garden. There are frogs in the round lily pond, varied insects and birds who can speak beyond words, and it just takes a smile to respond. I'm never alone in my garden, not discontented or bored. Each bloom is a gift to be savored and sniffed away from the harrying horde. I'm never alone in my garden, I feel part of a grand serenade, for the music I hear would have pleased Mozart's ear as I thrill to the breeze on parade. I'm never alone in my garden, away from the traffic and strife. Here I find deep release in the passion and peace of a portrait of natural life. I'm never alone in my garden, for the great master artist is there, such a joy to the eye as a bright butterfly wends its way through the soft-scented air. No, I'm never alone in my garden, filled with blessings of tilling and toil. As I water and weed, all my worries recede with my fingers in God's sacred soil. When I was a child of the Depression, having been born the year the stock market collapsed. And when I was 15 years old, I wrote the following poem. When we were homely tots with 7 summers past, we played and strayed on vacant lots and dreamed of aging fast. We couldn't wait to cast our vote and march with rifle high, or maybe wear a new mink coat and travel in the sky. Each thought he'd be a millionaire and visit gay Paris, and fly like birds without a care and marry sweet Marie. The songs we sang as youths will sing had strange melodious bars. They filled us with eternal spring, but they cannot be ours. You see, I married Lizzie Brown and worked 9 hours a day. I've never left the little town for travel warrants pay. No melodies come from my throat, I've held no rifle high. Oh yes, sometimes I get to vote, although I know not why. Now sitting in the easy chair with slippers and the pipe, and sure the evening paper's there, I see no cause to gripe. The songs we sang about getting older and life without a care just seems to me a little older and faded in the air. And now with just a little change, the songs are sung again, though this time in a lower range. Ah, to be young again. While it appeared to be a negative, sad, and depressing poem, the deep, true message of this poem is not only potentially uplifting, but can actually enhance and improve every person's daily life. Years later, an acquaintance of mine told me a brief story which brought out this message so clearly. This is the story. A man was walking through a jungle trail when suddenly he sensed he was being tracked by a man-eating tiger. He started to run down the trail, and the tiger raced after him. Unfortunately, the trail ended at the top of a 5,000-foot mountain, and the man was faced with this terrible choice: either stay there and be attacked and eaten by the tiger, or jump off the mountain to a certain death to the rocks below. So as the tiger jumped towards him, the man jumped off the mountain. As he was falling to his certain death, halfway down the mountain, the man noticed a wild strawberry bush growing from the rocks. He grabbed a wild strawberry as he was falling, bit into it, and it tasted to him sweeter than anything he had ever tasted. The taste that stayed with him as he was falling to his certain death. The moral of this story is that each of us is fleeing from the bruises, hurts, and turmoils of the past, troubled, worried, and stressed out by the uncertainties of the future, and what we miss is all we really have, the sweet strawberry of the now. Each moment is a miracle to be enjoyed. I was so impressed by this message that I wrote the following poem. Locked in the prison of yesterday's furies, chained to the patterns and pains of the past, pinioned by peers and the verdicts of juries, eye toward the future, false pride to the last, tossed between ego and scars of the mind view, fleeing from demons while seeking hurrahs, race to escape what is lurking behind you, enslaved between jailers of will be and was, missing the beauty of every sweet second, blind to the miracle, free to the taste, deaf to the call of the wind while it beckoned, oceans of tears for the terrible waste. Idiot's game of con and confusion, science must falter and fail us somehow. Savor the present, all else is illusion. Everything worthy is God, love, and now. Fate merely smiles while the foolish go scheming, tone deaf to sound while the symphony plays, sleeping while waking and aching and dreaming, lost to the rhythm of infinite days. Drink in the sunshine, sip of the water, thrill to the air and the fruit of the land, kiss Mother Nature and dance with her daughter, study each bead of the shimmering sand. Dare to be different, to be what you are, fine. Walk in the way that your spirit be whole. Open yourself to the light of a starshine. Open your mind to the truth in your soul, and escape from the dungeon of yesteryear's torment. Laugh at tomorrow, a conjurer's jest. Rekindle the fire within lying dormant. Life is a banquet in search of a guest. Besides God, the most important thing in my family has been my family. The most important thing in my life, rather. I thank God every day and night for sending me and protecting my wonderful family. When my children were small, I tried to teach them the significance of families pulling together by showing them the example of the hand. I explained to them that each one of us is a finger, and it's so easy to break a finger. And yet when all the fingers come together to form a fist, the family becomes less vulnerable, more protective of each other. And so, to begin the family section, I wrote, "Oh, that special sainted lair to replenish and repair, safe harbor from life's surging sea, the family, where the welcome's never feigned, kindred spirits self-contained, cure for every malady, the family, understanding, faith, and trust, haven from life's dismal dust, laughter, love, and loyalty, the family, a shelter from the sleeting rain, the comfort of an old refrain, a well-remembered melody, the family. Loose your tie and shoes and belt, watch your cold demeanor melt, hasten to that wondrous we, the family. Just relax and reminisce, trade a hug and gain a kiss, snack a slice of reverie, the family. Mankind's blessing, bounty, prize, the greatest gift God could devise, an islet of humanity, the family. In our youth we would depart, members dearest to our heart, still always in our memory, the family. We hold them snug within our soul, to ground us in our worldly role, to help us through the mystery, the family. Of all the treasures man may hold, greatness, glory, gems, or gold, most precious in the world to me, the family." I found there were times when to get closer to your inner knowledge, it can best be achieved in the solitude of nature. And so I wrote this poem for my children. Run to the river, savor the sound, watch the leaved eddies go round and around, seek out life's music which no one has found. Run to the river and learn. Sit by the shore, see the twig float where it wasn't before, just like time passing here and no more. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river, study its face, attuned to the seasons, it varies its pace, giving a clue to the whole human race. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river, fish if you will, or wade in its waters and welcome its chill. Observe dread pollutants can oftentimes kill. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river, escape from the throng, bask in the warmth of its sibling song, stand firm even when the majority's wrong. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river whenever you can, seek its reflection in mirroring man. Life gives you back what you put in the plan. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river and study the trees, The strongest have roots in the water with ease. The closer the family, less the disease. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river, follow its path. See how it varies its sway and its swath. Never give in to the rage of your wrath. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river when summer is high. See it continue though it's nearly dry. Never be thwarted, never say die. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river when spring starts its thaw. See the wild flowers alive at the shore. Stalk nature's byways, its legends, its lore. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river when love disappoints. See where it's wide and its narrow points. It's life's little letdowns which really anoints. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river, row to a cove, transparent below, turgid above. Share its great wisdom with someone you love. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river when autumn leaves are aflame. See how it always is true to its aim. No human nature is always the same. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river whatever your mood. Come under the spell of its soft solitude. Seek the comfort of silence when others are rude. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river when frost catches hold. Carefully stand on the ice in the cold. Strive to stay fit even as you grow old. Run to the river and learn. Run to the river to seek his design. Learn midst the birch and the towering pine. Reason is fallible. Faith is divine. Run to the river and learn. The following two poems I wrote when my youngest son Michael was graduated from university. I cannot take one step for you along the path of truth. I may provide a hint, a clue, a story from my youth. Yet all of this is from my road, my triumphs and travail. It cannot lighten up your load or help you to prevail. You must be ready to receive the message deep within. You must awaken to believe the sounds beyond the din. To each of us the Spirit calls invisible commands, tugging on our inner walls, flowing braille-like hands. Listen with an open heart, joyful in the dance. Become a worthy work of art, a rollicking romance. Triumph over gloom and pain, flower like a rose. Touch the thorn and taste the rain, relishing life's blows. There'll never be another you, a miracle to know. My love's too deep to smother you, but it hurts to let you go. And yet I do, for deep inside I would not make you stay. Enraptured in parental pride, wistfully I watch you walk away. And the second poem is called A Father's Advice. Cast aside the doubts that mar your vision. Keep alive the passion of your plot. Stay upon the path of your decision. Aim to give it everything you've got. Shun the lures of danger and distraction. Stow the ego safely in its place. Answer not in anger, but in action, always knowing when to play your ace. Build your dream relentlessly in stages, certain of the glory of your goal. Labor every day like turning pages, putting all your will and self-control. Surely you will win whate'er your prize is, giving honest value for your pay, skipping all the shoddy compromises, knowing God is with you all the way. Before I recite the next poem, I have to explain it. My wife and I were contemplating seeking a small cottage on Lake George in upstate New York. A local real estate agent drove us about in her car, showing us what was available. She took us to her house for tea. We thanked her for her efforts and told her we would think about it and get back to her. We said goodbye, and as we were leaving, my wife opened a door which she thought was leading to the outside. It turned out to be a closet. It held one lady's garment slightly smudged on a hanger. We apologized, closed the door, and as we were opening the front door, we noticed the realtor was crying. Before we left, she told us her story, which I've placed in the following poem. I kept this dress these many years, although I never wore it. Its very sight commands my tears. I love it, yet abhor it. These tiny smudges hold for me a link with long ago, and a painful, tender memory, an everlasting blow. Its style, now old, was once so chic, in periwinkle gay. Ah, but to feel his youthful cheek, to hold him for one day. I tried it on, its fit was fine, the mirror told me so. I loved the sweep, the cut, the line, a bell to please her beau. He sprang at me, my 5-year-old. Oh, Mommy, I love you, I do. Startled, I pushed him away so cold, and noticed he smudged the hue. Playing and running in the dirt, his hands were soiled and stained. Your filthy fingerprints, so curt, my answer must have pained. The next day was the last he knew. God took him from my side. I remembered, oh, Mommy, I love you, I do. Oh, the anguish, the torrents, I cried. But for a potion of forgetfulness salve to cure an unhealable sore, his fingerprints are all that I have on this garment I never wore. When one of my sons was going through some financial problems, I wrote him the following poem, which till this day is on his desk. He can never be defeated who refuses to give in. Whether chewed upon or cheated, in the end he'll always win. He may oftentimes be bested in a battle or a race, bouncing back to be retested, seeing failure no disgrace. For he finds each blow a teacher, every knock a means to learn, knowing life's a double feature, and the end is his concern. Knows his goal is in the distance, knows his aim and stays the course, impervious to all resistance, summoning a special force. We all start out fairly equal, yet so very few succeed. It's the striving and the sequel, not afraid to cry or bleed. Clear of purpose and intention, not a lesson doth forget. Sudden setbacks never mention, overcome it all with sweat. Dawn will find him up before her. Dusk will seek him deep in thought. Madam Gossip, he'll ignore her. Man of honor can't be bought. Shuns the petty, shuns the sinner, surging forward from the crowd, eager as a bright beginner, never daunted, never cowed. Soaring spirit, proud and plucky, claims his throne to sit upon. Envy's buddies call him lucky. He just smiles and soldiers on. And the following one I wrote for my granddaughter my first grandchild, when she was 10. When you do an act of kindness that nobody sees, you might think that it just disappears in the breeze, but it grows like a seedling, one golden grain, for no good deed's ever in vain. When you have the courage to stand up to peers and bravely say no to their needles and jeers, they may call you a chicken or maybe plain Jane, but no good deed's ever in vain. When you simply refuse to dress like a slob and work extra hard in your class or your job, they may call you a drudge or simply insane, but no good deed's ever in vain. When you shun all the shortcuts which pinch at the rules, and just turn your back on the felons and fools, when you're willing to sweat for good honest gain, you'll find no good deed's ever in vain. For it's just like the system of panning for gold. All the dirt drops below what the sieve cannot hold. Only the glistening nuggets remain, for no good deeds ever in vain. The one beyond seeing knows all of our deeds. Honesty, courage, and kindness succeeds. Each act becomes part of a magical chain, for no good deeds ever in vain. And finally, in this family section, I wrote a poem which I imagine my children and grandchildren will read one day. It's called My Testament. I leave you my love for the land, wild-wooded girding the green, the secrets of sunsets and sand, days whisper in darkness between. I leave you my love for that road, the path which no other has trod, a desire to crown your abode, that your family share it with God. I leave you my love for the words. Books are a passion to plumb, outsoaring the kingdom of birds, whatever your will to become. I leave you my spirit and drive to make life a challenging quest, to swallow the roadblocks alive, to conquer with humor and zest. I leave you my love to create, to whatever degree that you might. Art may be simple or great, every match adds a bit to the light. I leave you my love of the sound, all the miracles music commands, from a tune to a symphonic round, from humming to Dixieland bands. I leave you my love of a smile, laughter is angels at play. Humor makes living worthwhile, helping make stress melt away. I leave you my love for a mate, a partner to share in the game, to prize between fortune and fate, to soothe without rancor or blame. I leave you my love for the Lord, whose verities always endure. To live by his word brings reward, a peace that is noble and pure. I leave you my love for your worth, my respect for your talent and bent. Your uniqueness in all of this earth gives great value to my testament. It was once pointed out to me that a study was once conducted in which a doctor attached wires from a biofeedback machine to people's thymus gland, which is the most important element in the immune system. And then he had patients think different thoughts. When their thoughts dealt with envy, anger, hate, the biofeedback machine from their thymus registered in a millimeter of a second negative. And when their thoughts dealt with love, sharing, caring, happiness, it registered positive. Actually, the highest positive grading was achieved for gratitude. Ironically, the word thymus comes from the Greek word meaning faith and courage. The moral of this experiment is that we generally make ourselves sick or well by the tenor of our thoughts. With that as in mind, I wrote the following 3 poems to inspire us and to help us heal. I will give love to all who pass my way, a pure and positive love, my smile a bright bouquet. I will feel love each moment of my quest, openly reveal love, to move my world with zest. I will meet love to touch its tender beat, joyfully I'll greet love to render me complete. I will trust love to comfort when I fail, to believe in just love to help me to prevail. I will savor love in everything I do, a bigger, braver love to heal me and renew. I will treat love as nourishing as food, radiate complete love and humble gratitude. I will live love and never think it odd. The more and more I give love, the more I get from God. And the second one is an affirmation, one that we should say morning and night to uplift us. I will steadily strive to remove every negative thought from my mind. Every moment I'll try to improve, leaving depression behind. Replace them with positive notions, with hope, love, and joy just to be. Wonderful, happy emotions in the beauty of all that I see. I promise to never succumb to anxiety, worry, or fear. Whatever my will to become, I will labor with faith and with cheer. I will live in and value the now, serve my loved ones before I am beckoned, thank the Lord with a prayer and a bow, and appreciate every sweet second. And my daughter works with people who have gone through a lot of problems. She lives in Australia. And the following poem which I wrote is on her desk. So many people make themselves ill, then seek a solution with powder or pill. They continue to languish in deep yesteryear, cornered and captured by fanciful fear. Created we were to be good and be grand. Resolutions reside in our own, very own hand. Open yourself to a soft-scented breeze. Simply release all the dank memories. Quietly search for the message inside. Bypass the ego, the anguish, the pride. Sort through your baggage, the pain and the past. Write a new drama. Choose your own cast. Discard the detritus. Compose a new show. Solve all your problems by just letting go. And in relation to that, one of the biggest problems we all face is dealing with our ego. Now the ego, well, let's put it this way. Every person is a duality, a grain of sand. No, I'm in the wrong place. Dealing with the ego is like dealing with a terrorist who's taken over the body of your plane and makes you believe that you are flying it when in effect he is flying it. You wake up in the morning and the ego says, "You're a nothing burger." And you tell your ego, "Look what I accomplished yesterday." And your ego says, "That was yesterday. Today you're a nothing burger." So you go out and you do something stupid, which you think you are in control of, when in fact the ego is calling the shots. The ego is only a small part of you. The important part is the wisdom God placed in your soul. Anyway, the following poem is called The Ego Within. You can sweep every race that you enter, proudly claim every medal and pin, but the race that remains, that constricts and constrains, is to vanquish the ego within. You can gain all the gold or the glamour, corner markets in silver and tin, but there only amounts, and the contest that counts is to conquer the ego within. You can gloat at yourself in the mirror, take your new fancy car for a spin, but the gleam in the eyes of your friends are just lies till you conquer the ego within. You can own the best house or apartment, join the poshiest club for your gin, but you'll still feel unsure, incomplete, insecure, till you conquer the ego within. You can play at romancing with diamonds and pay for the love of your kin. She may call you her dove, but you can't find true love till you conquer the ego within. For the spirit is not there for barter, and the soul cannot sanction a sin. For you'll never breathe free or enjoy harmony till you conquer the ego within. In the end, you will meet disappointment. Every day needs another big win, but the ultimate fight must be waged out of sight as you conquer the ego within. As I said before, every person is a duality, a grain of sand combined with a spinning universe. In a way, we are all unique. We have different fingerprints to prove it. And on another level, we are an amalgam of the human race. Like waves in the ocean, we are each unique on one level, yet on a deeper level, we're all part of one ocean. And with that in mind, I wrote the following. Who are you and who am I? Separate pieces of a pie, each unique, a special soul, yet mesh and meld to form one whole. Who are you and who am I? Puzzle parts that mystify. Hidden hints, cunning clues, part of every rainbow's hues, each a ripple in a stream, both a part of someone's dream, each a shimmer of the sun, a precious piece of everyone, a glimmer of the golden rule, an ever-changing molecule, each a bit of he and she, ultimate geometry, part and parcel of this verse, partners in the universe, each a portion of the sum, each a journey to become. Can you fathom who you are, part of every shining star, part of every mother's birth, part of all that's on this earth? Then who am I and who are you? The question serves as answer, too. All combined to form the we that's part of God's eternity. The next 4 poems were written to try to fathom the unfathomable, when the only way to achieve this is through reverent faith. But in any event, I'll read you the poems. I sought to solve the mysteries of life, to fathom what seemed fathomless to men. The wheel of joy which swiftly turns to strife, returns to joy and turns to strife again. I dared explore the purpose and the plan, the reasons we are here, if here we are, the contradictions which befuddle man, the meaning of a single shining star. My questions danced like feathers in the breeze, floated off and grandly flew away. leaving only air to taunt and tease, swirls and whirls of coded repartee. The answers lie beyond the finite mind, hidden like a riddle in a rhyme. Sense it in your heart, your eyes are blind, buried in the endless sands of time. Man is more than blood and bone and breath, a continuity which knows no end, more than earth and birth and life and death, more than he can ever comprehend. Man is all of this and something more, a songbird with a chuckle and a curse, innocent though he's seen it all before, man-child in a timeless universe, moving as a puppet on a string, flowing in a stream beyond his ken, born as one and one with everything, waiting for the light to shine again. I sense a knowing never learned. I'm sure I know, but know not whence. A wisdom neither sought nor earned, but born within, alive and tense. Beyond man's phrases, words, and grunts, beyond the books, those printed signs, dating from a special once of secrets shared by God's designs. Before disease and wars, false cravings, before the selfish seized the heart, before the rantings and the ravings, before the light was blown apart, it comes to me, a sudden seeing, a parting mist, an instant glow, a certainty which fills my being, the silent voice which says, I know, that worry is presumptuous rot, that envy, greed are poison fruit, the prizes that we seek are not the ones we'll need in our pursuit, that everyone is weighed and measured, testing us while we exist. The soul's enhancement is what's treasured, when we share the Spirit's kiss, that all is one and love is all, that life's a winding charted course, that death's a pause we can't recall, both a fateful flowing toward the source. And the third of this four goes as follows. Those who sniff a wisdom scent may end up deep in puzzlement. There's secrets in each grain of sand, if only we could understand. There's music in a drop of rain, and magic in a dove's refrain, a meaning in each season's sun, good and bad in every one. There's wonder in the salt air breeze, and lessons in the towering trees. Caterpillars live and die, then turn into a butterfly. Peacocks preen, lions roar, insatiables want more and more. The whirling wind's a carousel, a perfume hint in flowers smell, a joy in love, a waste in hate, so leap ahead or hesitate. There's history in every sea, triumphs grand or misery. A lifetime seems to fly and flee, a moment lasts eternally. Who can read the river's flow? The more we live, the less we know. The helping hand, the clenching fist, the melodies in morning mist. Some wear sackcloth, some wear silk, some just thirst for mother's milk. The earth is jigsaw puzzle filled. Its clues are hidden and distilled. Acceptance is the key to life and weather, for only God above can put it all together. And finally, in this set of four, I wrote, I cannot make a flower bloom, nor grant it color or perfume. I cannot build a butterfly, I marvel as they flutter by. I cannot bid a robin sing, or herald in the birth of spring. I cannot stay the ocean's course, or dare to tame that mighty force. I stand in awe at autumn's gold, as multicolored leaves unfold. I cannot melt the mountain snow, command the wintry winds to go. I wither under summer's sun, its power humbles everyone. How minuscule men really are. I cannot even touch a star. I feel so small in nature's realm, its majesty doth overwhelm. I cannot change a single day. I guess the answer is to pray, in thankfulness that I can see the grandeur of God's majesty. I should like to conclude with no more explanations. I think I've talked enough, and read you several poems that I wrote, and I believe are quite uplifting. If diamonds were as plentiful as grass, as plentiful as pebbles on the beach, we wouldn't even see them as we pass. they hardly would be worth a bend or reach. We seem to value only what is rare. The plentiful is hardly worth a glance. We take for granted water, food, and air as we rave around the day like mindless ants. Much of those on earth are not so blessed. Fetid air, scarce water, scarcer food. Spoiled are we, thriving in the West, strangers to all simple gratitude. Rising, are we thankful for our health, for our shelter, for the comfort we enjoy? Or blinded by a hunger for more wealth, do we miss the very essence of our joy? Those who bow in gratitude and prayer for the endless gifts of God, both small and great, know that life itself a gift beyond compare, a priceless gem we should appreciate. One thing seems so very clear. We all began as God's idea. The more we seek, the more we'll find. It all came from the Master's mind. The flower is the perfect sign to help us study God's design. Gaze upon this petal clue to learn what he expects of you. Watch the flower nod and sway, accepting every windy day. For its brief life it gladly serves and gives the best the world deserves. Varied hues, both bold and bright, pleased to shine for our delight. Understated perfume scent, flowing forth with calm content. Open arms for bird and bee, smiling optimistically. A masterpiece, both strong and soft, stalwart as it sways aloft. Would that we would blossom thus, to reach the heights of God's idea of us. And this is titled A Simple Prayer. Hear this simple prayer, I pray. Show us, Lord, your special way. Guard us from our evil thoughts. Every one of us has warts. Cleanse our hearts that we may scan the virtue in our fellow man. Guide our souls that we may find motives of a higher kind. Curb our anger, temper, fuss. Fan the loving heart in us. Banish all our darker moods. Lift us from our solitudes. Exile envy from our mind. Grant peace to all of humankind. Help us see your spectral light that shines before us day and night. Never let us take for granted all we are and have you planted. Help us climb our earthly hill. We need you, Lord. We always will. The final two I shall read. One is uplifting. The second one, or the final one that I'll read, deals with, is the only poem I ever wrote that doesn't have rhyme. It came to me when I was a young man, and I just had to write it down even though there was no rhyme or special rhythm to it. First, the uplifting one. Every day begins anew, a limitless potential, a clear and open avenue, pristine and quintessential. Every dawn a special dawn, an overture unique, a chance to change, to be reborn, several times a week. An opportunity immense to alter course, to move, to summon forth your common sense, to raise your sights, improve, to organize the will to win, no time to fret and brood, the magic of self-discipline, a can-do attitude. The substance waits within our mind, resolve within our heart, and courage of a higher kind appears when once we start. Convention bids us bear our yoke, to bend our knee and bow, conditions us as fearful folk, to beat us down somehow. In moments when success seems slim and benefits are few, you feel you don't believe in him, still he believes in you. For we possess a perfect guide to show us what to do. The spark of God dwells deep inside. Each day begins anew. And now finally is a poem called I've Seen a New World. With this one I will bid you adieu. I've seen a new world, heard a new resonant ring in the air, felt the heartbeat of universal man to be, and it was vibrant, different, new. The earth was the same as was the universe, but the people in the world were suddenly changed. In some inexplicable mystical manner, beyond the realm of rationale, aided by the angel of fate, change, accident, or miracle, The good Lord made a revolution to occur. Oh, not the external, bloody, ineffectual, insane political type of revolution or economic revolution. A rotting rose by any other name would smell as rotten. But an inward, peaceful revolution, deep within the maze-like chasms of every man's brain, within the ethereal caverns of every man's soul, where inherent greed was expunged and in its place appeared inherent self-sacrifice, instinctive, enlightened self-interest. I give this stranger my bread because he is my friend. I give my friend this bread because he is my brother. I give my brother this bread because he is hungry. I give my brother this bread because I am hungry. I've seen a new world where death's twin messengers of war and disease, along with the grotesque trio of envy, greed, and gossip, were cast headlong down the bottomless pit of non-existence. An anarchistical monarchy where every man's a king in thought and deed, and every woman a queen, for men see past the scar or blemish and worship at the throne of inner depth and sincerity. And he and she are part of God, and God a part of them, and the sunshine of goodness, kindness, hope, and love shines 24 hours a day. Yesterday was good, today is excellent, tomorrow... No problem insurmountable. I am a submicroscopic molecule, an infinitesimal particle, in one golden grain of sand, in the smallest pearl-like pebble, in the minutest marble mountain of future progress. I am a 16th note in the mellifluent symphony of improvement. Off-key, off-pitch, wrong rhythm, wrong tempo, but I can be heard. The harmonious horde is just around the corner of time. The only thing that's futile is futility. There is no pointless path. There is no dark discouragement. Every groping, every stumbling will lead us closer to the stairway of the truth. I can, I must, I will. Or if I can't, there is no can't. There is no if. Destroy the ifs and can'ts. Burn them in effigy. Smatter and smash them. Crush and crumble them into total oblivion. I may not see this new world, nor my children nor theirs, but a knowing smile fills every segment of my being. Because for one miraculous moment, the wall of time parted, revealing to me the brilliant future of the will-be. And in that glowing, sweet second, in that godlike, gleaming vision of some tomorrow, in that shining, inexplicably beautiful promise of progress, I've seen a new world. Thank you.